Welcome and study with Tanzania Institute of Education.
It's no coincidence the Latin word digit means fingers or toes, as well as a number. When humans first needed a way to keep track of, for example, the number of weapons they had, they did this by using body parts, mostly their fingers. We use numbers every day without realizing that it took humankind tens of thousands of years of need and necessity to bring us to a point where we take this for granted. Along the way, we also developed a number system to help us keep track of and categorize and describe different numbers. The numbers you first learn to count with are generally called counting numbers, but the correct mathematical term for them is natural numbers. Natural numbers are used for counting things, and because of this, there are no negatives or zero in this group of numbers. Natural numbers are the basis on which other number groups are built. In mathematics, the symbol n is used to represent this group of numbers. You might sometimes see this written as n1, which is the same thing and indicates numbers starting from 1. Next up are whole numbers, which are represented by this symbol. Whole numbers are natural numbers with the addition of the number 0. The concept of zero as nothingness has been around for thousands of years, as has the practice of using a symbol as a placeholder to tell the difference between, for example, 3, 30, or 300,000. However, it was only around 650 AD in India that an astronomer named Brahmagupta first recognized and formalized zero as a distinct number in its own right, and laid out the rules for calculating with zero and negatives, which still form the foundations of modern mathematics. In everyday life, whole numbers are used for values which are standardized, like quantities of items. Age, 16 years old, not 16.7 years old. 1 bicycle instead of 1.3 bicycles, and measurements like height. And weight, or labels. I wear the number 13 jersey in my football team, and I live at house number 32. Understanding zero opened up the way for our next group of numbers, integers, which include whole numbers and negative numbers. What they are not is a fraction or decimal. In mathematics, we use z to represent integers. Integers can be used for measuring things such as temperature, altitude, and depth, all of which require positive counting numbers, 0, and negative counting numbers. So what about fractions and decimals? These are in our next layer of numbers, rational numbers, which include natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers, as well as fractions and decimals. Rational numbers are numbers that can be written as a simple fraction, i.e. as a ratio. More formally, we would say a rational number is a number that can be in the form p over q, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. All fractions are of this form, so fractions are rational numbers. Integers can be written as a fraction by giving it a denominator of 1, so any integer is a rational number. 2 equals 2 over 1, 3 equals 3 over 1, and 0 equals 0 over 1. Terminating decimals, or numbers with decimals that come to an end, can be written as a fraction by writing it the way you say it. 2.25 is 2 2500ths. Then adding to produce a fraction. 200 over 100 plus 25 over 100 equals 225 hundredths. Non-terminating decimals are numbers with decimals that do not come to an end. If these decimals are recurring or repeating, then they can also be written as a fraction using algebraic methods. So a repeating decimal is also a rational number. A third is 0.3 recurring. This means that we can keep adding threes an infinite number of times. A seventh has a block of numbers 0.142857, 142857, which repeats itself infinitely. And 77/600ths is 0.12833333. The 3 repeats itself an infinite number of times. Rational numbers are the numbers we use in our everyday lives. The mathematical symbol for rational numbers is the letter Q. If we have rational numbers, there must be irrational numbers. These are non-terminating and non-recurring. This means they don't have a recurring pattern of decimal numbers, and they go on forever. An irrational number is defined as a real number that cannot be written as a simple fraction. Together, the rational and irrational numbers form the set of real numbers. In mathematics, we use the symbol r to represent it. Every real number can be shown by a unique point on a number line. This means that every point on a number line shows a unique real number. You should now know everything you need to know about rational and irrational numbers.